Welcome to Let's Play Battlefield 1942. On today's episode, Invasion of the Philippines. This was one of the extra maps that the game came out with after its original release. It was the second to last map that they ever did for this game. I'm just talking about the regular Battlefield 1942, not the expansion packs or anything like that. It's also got a couple of special features to it. It's the only map to have patrol boats. You won't see those for a little bit because they're Americans. Japanese just start out on the Japanese destroyer, and they've got to invade the different islands of the Philippines here, controlled by the Americans, who have no uncapturable base. Generally speaking, this island that I'm closest to is the first one that gets assaulted by the Japanese. The guy who's driving the destroyer, for some reason, is moving the ship around. Not sure exactly why. Usually they leave it to stay put for the first couple minutes just to give the Japanese a chance to land their landing craft here at this island. Sometimes this island is completely undefended, or sometimes it's very lightly defended by the Americans, because the Americans are busy spawning at the airfield, camping planes, and taking out patrol boats. Looks like we're going to encounter some stiff resistance stuff. One tactic the pilot of the Japanese destroyer may be employing here is moving the Japanese destroyer over closer to the airfield. Sometimes they like to park the ship there, bombard the airfield with the cannons, and have people launch attacks from there. It doesn't really matter where on the map you start trying to attack first, just as long as there's a beach and an easy route to get your landing craft over to the island and get off and get to the control point. At the moment we seem to be pretty much in the middle of nowhere. This island over here is a large island, pretty detailed, but there's absolutely nothing on it. No control points or anything. It's just basically used to shield the movements of boats, whether they're patrol boats, landing craft, the Japanese destroyer, or whatever, from the view of the other islands. I'm manning the machine gun on this landing craft. I'm not actually driving at the moment. You can see the two little blue dots on the picture of the landing craft there. Mine is on the gunner position. And it looks like the driver is going to be heading toward the harbor flag. Now it looks like he's going to head over to some area south of the harbor flag. Not sure exactly what he's trying to do here. He may be afraid that the harbor is going to be guarded, or there's going to be Allied patrol boats over there that are active. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that he just kind of got lost and picked a bad landing spot here. There's no way to really directly access the flag from over here. You'll notice that the Japanese are bleeding tickets at the moment. That's kind of a standard thing when your side has an uncapturable base, in our case the destroyer, and the other side has no uncapturables. So the burden is really on you to capture a base very quickly. The guy who was the pilot of that landing craft just apologized to me in the chat. He may have thought that there was some kind of a path over to the flag from where he landed. Alright, so looking at the empty vehicle icons over by the flag, it would appear that this flag is completely abandoned and undefended, so that would be a very good stroke of luck for the Japanese, who still have yet to even neutralize any of the flags, let alone capture one. Those two patrol boats over there just sitting around waiting for someone to take them after we capture this control point. If there's no resistance or anything like that that stops us, then we're definitely going to be heading over to those boats to take them out for a test drive. At this flag, you've always got to be extremely paranoid. I don't know what it is about this flag, but it seems like every time I try to capture it, there's always somebody that jumps out from the middle of nowhere to stop me. But for the moment, looks like we're safe. They definitely did take some vehicles from this flag. It always starts out with the tank. No, I guess the tank was there. It was just kind of empty tank icon was obscured by maybe the Jeep one or something like that. Well, as long as we've got vehicles here, I may as well head over to another one of the control points on this island. I'll check out the patrol boats later on. There's just an easy path here over across a bridge to, this looks almost like Battlefield Vietnam, but you just go over through the path and there's an American control point with another tank. Both of the tanks on this map are located on this large island with the 3 flags. It is theoretically and in some cases practically possible to move the tanks to the other islands. If you're an engineer, you can just barely make it through some of the shallow water where your tank will be taking damage, and you can repair the tank and then kind of ferry it across. But that takes a really long time. There's really no point except for the shock factor. It's always funny to see that when it happens. This control point I'm at is called the U.S. Marine Base. It seems to be the one flag that no one ever really hangs out at. It's just kind of separated from the other ones, not a whole lot going on. Not very easy to attack, except if you hold some of the other control points on this island here, you can kind of make your way over. But generally speaking, people want to get access to the patrol boats. The action is on the eastern coast of this island, because the eastern coast obviously points over to where the other control points are. We're only missing the landing beach flag on this island, so we're just going to carefully make our way down into the valley here. There are a lot of weird little bushes and stuff that the tanks for some reason can't get through. So that other tank driver's having a little bit of trouble. This is a path through the valley here that frequently gets defended by enemy engineers when they use their landmines. And the landing beach flag here is more or less deserted. It's not a very attractive place to spawn in. It's out in the open. It can be attacked by hostile planes. And like I just got hit, the def gun cannon from the airfield island. We completely control the western island now. So I think what I'm probably going to do is try to head over through these islands in the shallow water and attack the airfield flag, which is the most important flag on the map, arguably. You're basically a sitting duck from that point, going through the shallow water, if that enemy is manning the def gun. Now, I've spawned in at the flag called Point Boyington. Now, this flag is where the action seems to take place all the time. One side holds this flag, another side holds the airfield flag, and there's just constant attacks raging back and forth between these two. This is the one area where you see the most infantry combat and therefore the most action on Invasion of the Philippines. Stay tuned for part 2 of this episode.